All right, moving right along. Our second guest, he's been on the show before, and he's here to promote his new book. It's called Italian Staten Island. So let's give it up for my friend, author Andy Mele. Andy.
Thank you, John.
How are you, buddy?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So you got a lot of books. You've been busy. How did you come about writing this book?
Well, this series is called The Images of America. There's hundreds of titles. And I happened to recently note a couple of ethnic titles, which I didn't know they were doing. They have an Irish Staten Island and a couple others. So I said, you know, how could you not have an Italian Staten Island?
Of course.
So I let them know about it. I said, great idea, and I put in my proposal, and they accepted it. So that's the way it started.
Beautiful. Now, what kind of format did you actually use to put that together?
The book is set up in a chronological way, which is very easy because the discoverer of Staten Island was Italian, you know, Giovanni de Verrazzano. He was the first one to come into New York Harbor, to see Staten Island, to write about it and all that. So that was great. And then they had in Garibaldi, Meucci, they invented a telephone, they lived here. So it was a natural progression. And I was able to take it from there to the big immigrations in the turn of the 20th century. There were approximately 4.5 million Italians left Italy. It was mostly from the south, and it was because of economic, they were in bad way. Wow. A lot of them came here. It's been called one of the greatest mass emigrations in world history. Wow. And a lot of them wound up here, so it was a natural to take it.
It's ironic, right?
Yeah. It is. Did you have specific ideas or purpose in mind in doing this book?
Only when it started, as I said, the simple idea that there are so many Italians. And my thinking along the lines of the book, a book like this, it's a picture book. You could just put a whole collection of people that, you know, that are going to be recognized. It's not what I wanted. I don't know if I've accomplished it, but I wanted a collection of one people, the Italian people, specifically Italian Staten Islanders. And I wanted it to wind up reading like a kind of a mosaic of a people, and you would get the idea of the culture, because this is a big thing. This is a thing that kind of caught me, you know. It's been written that Italians, more than any other ethnic group, combine change with stability. Okay. They came here as immigrants. They wanted to be Americans. By the second generation, they were Americans, but we retained so much of the culture. When I first started the thing, I remember said to a friend one day, I said, you know, isn't it something? Our people have been coming here over 100 years, and we still eat macaroni on Sunday afternoon. Of course. And he said at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
And I said, you know, think about that. Well, you're from further north.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, from Brooklyn, all over Brooklyn. But the culture has been maintained and has been kept without sacrificing our Americanism. And that's, I think, a great thing for people.
Now, of course, that was your importance on making the book itself in the beginning, right?
Absolutely, yeah. That was the first kind of that was the kind of a theme that came together as I got started with it. Yeah.
You know, there's a guy that looks really a lot like Johnny in that book.
Oh well, like that's one of the things I want to point out to you. When I said about there being famous people in here, and if you look at, can they get this one? The bottom picture.
This is pretty cool.
Can you get that?
I'm very honored that you did that. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Johnny Pay's in there.
I appreciate your help being in the book. You know?
Now, how do you view your Italian heritage?
Well, I guess there's that natural pride, and it's something you can't get away from. Not that you want to, but because, as I was saying before, our families, we grew up a certain way. And it's just passed down one generation. And one of the things that the book closes with the future. I have teachers and I have some very successful young students who are Italian American. And the idea of the hope of the future is involved in that, how we've just passed things from one generation to the next. Not just the macaroni, although that's major in our lives, you know. But that's kind of the way it's worked out. And, you know, we've done it, I don't think intentionally. I think it's just a natural thing that we follow through. But there's a pride, you know, like the old, you know, hey, you like the ball player or the actor because he's Italian. It's a.
Why don't you name a couple of people fast that are in the magazine, in the book? I know Vito Pacone.
Yeah,
is in there.
Vito's in there. Vito and 4 other guys, 5 young Italians from South Beach, had a huge hit record, Little Star, which virtually defines
The
the
Elegance?
50s, yeah. Vito and the Elegance, yeah. But there are some known people. I became a fan of a show called CSI-NY when I found out that Carmine Giovinazzo is a regular on the show. And I enjoy the show.
Yeah.
But Bob Loggia, I don't know if you familiar with Bob Loggia.
The name sounds familiar.
He's made he's been nominated for an Emmy and for an Academy Award and a very distinguished career. And when I spoke with his agent, and I said, I heard he was a ball player. And he said, Bob said to tell you, make sure you point out that he was a three-sport athlete, and he's in the New Dorp High School Hall of Fame.
Oh, really?
They remember their roots, you know, what they like, what they're proud of, you know.
Yeah.
Now listen, all the people that you came in contact with while you were writing the book, I'm sure you got some like peculiar stories. You got any to tell everybody?
Well, I don't know about peculiar, but this whole writing thing for me has been very rewarding in the sense that I have met a lot of people. And as I say, again, joking aside, some are famous and some are not, but they're people and they're very interesting. I met people like, I became friends with Gregory Perillo, who's a marvelous artist in sculpture. You know, the Indians, if you've seen those things, you know, he's a world-renowned sculptor. I'll tell you, there's a section here about food, because as I said, food is, with Italians, food is not a staple. It's a way of life.
It's a
you know.
religion.
Yes. That's right. It absolutely is. And talking about the food and all that, I come to the pizza. I have a whole page on the history of pizza. You got to read this.
I love pizza.
These are important things you have to know about. Well, that's one of the things I found out. I was under the impression, I had read or heard that pizza came here with the immigrants and they created it here. But it's not true. It actually goes back to the Roman Empire. But what they did was they had a crust, and they would just put whatever toppings they wanted. So I thought it was a very interesting story how it got to be the way it is today. And this happened in the 1880s. A chef named Esposito in Naples was creating a pizza for the Queen Consort Margherita, special pizza. And he decided he had to make a topping that nobody's used. So he took red sauce, white cheese, and green basil, red, white, and green, the colors of the Italian flag on a pizza. That's how important food is to Italians.
Definitely, my goodness.
But pizza is kind of a definition of Italians. 2 billion a year. 2 billion a year in this country are consumed.
Now listen, before we get on with the rest of the questions, we have a raffle giveaway. Andy's nice enough to give away one of his books. So we're going to make him pick one of the raffles and give you one of his autographed books. You rip any one you want.
Tear it off.
Okay.
I never get a ticket.
All right, we got 447-592.
Anyone?
Yeah? All right, give us a good up. Come on.
Come on, get it. There it is, right there.
He'll autograph it for you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, you got a couple of book signings coming up. You just did one recently. Why don't you talk about that, promote the rest of them?
Yeah, we were at the Garibaldi Meucci Museum for a kickoff party, launch party. It went very well. We're very happy. And I've got a number of appearances set up, but we will be doing a book signing on April 17th at Barnes & Noble on Richmond Avenue. And we have Borders, I think, in May, the day before Mother's Day. I think it's May 8th. And I think the Clove Lakes bookstore is going to be there. But I'm going to be doing some talks before some of the organizations. I have the Sons of Italy and the Knights of Columbus and a couple other things set up.
Well, good. All the best. Why don't you tell everybody in TV land, website, or anywhere they could purchase your book?
Well, I'll tell you, it's all over the place. It's on Staten Island. Not only the bookstores, it's in Walgreens, it's in Rocco's Deli in Annandale. They have it in all over the place. So it's going to be easy to come by, but you can get it from the website, from Barnes & Noble, or from the publishers, www.academy, what's it called? ArcadiaPublishing.com.
All right, cool.
If you want to buy it that way.
Well, listen, best of luck. I'm definitely going to see you in the future.
Thank you so much.
Say hello to the family.
Appreciate you.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
have you.
Let's
Nice
give it up
to
for
see you.
Andy Mele. All right, Andy Mele.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of energy for his age.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right.